I mostly deal with petty food and drunken brawls. Been too long since we've had a good night.
You know what's wrong with Skyrim these days? Everyone is obsessed with death.
Want to have your clip featured in the Skyrim Clip of the Week? Simply record the clip on your Xbox and then send it to me via message. My gamertag is IRYENI, that's IRYENI, and then you can message it to me over Xbox and I'll be able to view it. I look forward to seeing the clips that you guys send me. Now moving on to the video. Hey, what's up guys, it's Ryan, and welcome back to another episode of Modded Monday. We're on week number 224 now, guys. I've picked out 5 new mods for you guys to check out, and perhaps add them to your load order if you find them interesting. But like always, before we jump into them, I want to remind you guys that I'm partnered with GamerSupps, which in my opinion is the best energy drink on the market. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, be sure to check out the link where you can go to their store page, and also use the code RTD for a 10% discount on all your purchases. I also want to say, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any brand new mods each and every single week. Now that all that's out of the way, we can jump into this week's mods, and starting us off we have the IronDusk33 Compilation mod. Now this is a mod pack that has a bundle of several mods from the talented IronDusk mod creator. These mods include the Field Medic mod, the Simply Taming mod, the Useful Scrolls mod, as well as Train and Study, and I'm sure most of you have heard of the Missives mod. Now moving on to what these mods actually do, is the Field Medic mod allows you to give and administer potions to followers and companions in combat, and then moving on to Simply Tame, you can tame animals in the wild now. If you have enough food, you can actually crouch and sneak up on the animal and then tame them using the food that they eat. After that you have the Useful Scrolls mod, which allows you to use scrolls without equipping them. You can simply just drop them now. This actually helps out a lot because in every single playthrough I've ever done, I'm pretty sure every single scroll that I've picked up just stays in my inventory or ends up getting sold to a general goods merchant. It's very rare that I use a scroll, but this mod actually changes that because you don't actually have to equip them. You can just simply highlight them and then drop them, and it'll be casted without you having to switch out any of your current equipment. After that we have the Train and Study mod, which allows you to use training dummies, archery targets, and skill books to train and advance your skills now, so it's a very simple yet amazing mod. And finally, like I said, we've all probably used the Missives mod before, but this adds a large number of localized Radiant quests that can be found at the Missive boards of varying difficulty and varying rewards. Now this is in every single city or every hold that you travel to in Skyrim. There'll be a big board filled with notes that you can get extra Radiant quests so you can make some early gold if you just started a new character. So we have all these mods compiled into one 1.14 megabyte mod, so it'll pretty much disappear into your load order and feel like all of these were just features from the get-go. So if you're looking for some quality of life improvements to Skyrim and you're maybe running low on mod slots, then I'd strongly recommend downloading the IronDusk33 compilation because it combines all of these quality of life mods into one very small and simple mod, and that's why it's featured here at a number 5 spot, so I strongly recommend downloading it and giving it a try for yourself. Coming in at our number 4 spot, I know a lot of you are going to be super excited about this mod because we've been waiting for so long. Finally, we have enemy health indicators in Skyrim now. Now this mod keeps track of multiple enemies' health when your weapon is drawn, and it adds a colored status to your enemies based on their remaining health to help you prioritize targets in battle. It also adds status to your teammates as well. This mod includes a config book called the Enemy Indicators, and it's automatically added to your inventory with various options for status placement. You can also have it displayed based on a calculation on expected health versus actual, as well as the size of the enemy based on the level distance to the player. Now whenever it comes to the actual health bars that are above your enemies, if the health bar is blue, that means they are very powerful and have over 200% health. Normally you'll see those on guards or just, very powerful creatures. And then the other colors that'll show, we have green, which is if they have 75 to 200% health. Yellow is from 50 to 75, it turns orange from 25 to 50, and then red in 25 or less health. And then it starts to blink red if they have 10% or less health remaining. So there are so many ways to determine how much health a character has based on all of these colors here, and although yes, it's not an actual health bar that shows a complete health bar with all of their health all in one bar above them, it's actually better. I actually really like this color system that they got going here, because I feel as though if you were fighting a bunch of enemies like I am here in Dragon's Reach, if they were all health bars, it would be very confusing to see. But I really like how all the colors are actually, very vivid. You can tell what color and what head it's above. It's very easy to actually depict who has what health. And the one thing that I do want to say about this mod and that I'd recommend turning off is the enemy sizes. This is actually something that's on by default, so you have to open up the book and turn off level indicators, because then you'll end up with giant guards. Because what it does is whenever it adds an enemy indicator above the enemy that you're fighting, it'll actually raise the size of them too for some reason, based on their level. But you can easily turn that off just by using the config book, but if you don't turn it off, just don't be surprised if you see a bunch of giant guards running at you. Now I feel as though I could go on and on about how excited I am that console users finally get access to such an amazing mod, but I'm just going to cut it off there because it's a very simple mod. It just adds enemy health indicators above all of your enemies while you're fighting, and there's not really any issues at all. I was fighting a bunch of people at once, and whether you're fighting 50 people or 3 people, it works just as fine either way, and it's very easy to tell who has what health, so this is definitely a mod I'd recommend downloading and keeping in your load orders, because I know I'll be keeping it in mine. And that's definitely why this mod's featured here at our number 4 spot, so I'd strongly recommend downloading the Enemy Health Indicators mod. Coming in at our number 3 spot, now since we have Halloween coming up soon, I wanted to at least choose one spooky mod for this week, and today we have Where Darkness Dwells, the Shadow Kingdom. Now the mod page reads that rumors of vampire sightings have increased in the hold of Whiterun, and reports of children going missing have increased as well. The Balgriff has tasked the companions to investigate these rumors, so to begin the small story, you can find a letter in Kodlak's room inside of the Orvasker living quarters. This is a mid to high level player story mod, and it's also important to read whatever you find, as they'll let you know where you need to go next, as there's no quest markers to help you along the way, which is something that I kinda like about the mod. It's more of an investigation of anything else. And this mod also comes with a new armor set, which is the Obsidian armor, 2 new weapons, which is the Soul Reaper and Deathly Hollow, which is a sword and a bow, and then you have new locations to explore and loot, a new dark story, and a new follower named Jupiter. It's also recommended by the mod creator to play their first Where Darkness Dwells, as this story does make references to the first story, but it's not necessary to understand the Shadow Kingdom story, so you can choose to either play the first one or start with this one. Now this isn't a very long quest mod, but like I said, it could take you longer because there isn't any quest targets, so you actually have to read and kind of think about where you have to go and do some exploring, as well as actually look for the notes in question. But other than that, it's more of an investigative quest as well as a spooky quest, because you get to go and, dive into all these necromancer dens and see all the dark stuff that they're getting into. And then finally, once you reach the end, you get this big epic battle where you fight a bunch of different people and you obtain the Obsidian armor as well as the Deathly Hollow. And then you later get the Soul Reaper mace, as I'm showing you right here. And I do really like the armor set. It's a completely darkened armor. It's more so like the Ebony, but way darker than Ebony. And then the new weapons look completely unique. I really enjoy the way that they look, and they make you feel like an absolute badass. And the new locations you get to explore and loot, they have a giant castle full of vampires, and this mod doesn't take this stuff lightly. Like, this is extremely difficult battles we have here. Like, these vampires will shoot explosives at you and do anything in their power to stop you from getting into their lair. So it's a very difficult quest mod. So if you're looking for a new quest mod to play, as well as some new weapons and armor to use, then the Where Darkness Dwells Shadow Kingdom is definitely a mod I'd recommend checking out, because you get to investigate vampire sightings in Whiterun and kind of solve it on your own. And once you do find it for yourself, there's a big battle sequence that's very difficult, so it'll be very challenging for any of you high level characters. And on top of all that, it also comes with a follower as well. So what more could you want out of a mod like this? Especially one that comes in as small as 1.27 megabytes. And that's definitely why this mod's featured here at our number 3 spot, so I'd recommend downloading it and exploring the Shadow Kingdom for yourself. Coming in at our number 2 spot, we have another addition to the Cities of the North mod series, and today we're focusing on Falkreath. And the features of this mod include new unique models for every building in Falkreath, as well as new interiors matching the buildings. They're completely nav meshed and there's no auto generation. The LODs have been completely generated for the area as well. Also, the Jarl's Longhouse music has been changed to match the major cities ones, and overall there's a total of 8 new interiors. Now, the mod creator also states that he would recommend you install this on a new save, but if you haven't traveled to Falkreath yet on your current character, then you are able to add it to that current character, which I thought was pretty cool. Now, mods that are actually compatible out of the box with this mod include the Missives mod, which we covered already, and then we have the Falkreath Hauntings, the Grey Caliph Nocturnal, the Moon Path to Elsewhere, the Point the Way mod, Carriage and Ferry Travel Overhaul, the Alternate Perspective. I think it's really great that the mod creators went out of their way to make sure that mods are compatible with theirs, especially in a city such as Falkreath. Because I really like the way that this city looks, but if it broke other quests or it made other quest mods not work, then I would choose to delete the city mod over the quest mod. So the fact that they actually made it be able to be worked in, such as the Grey Caliph Nocturnal, which was a quest mod that we played in a very, very previous video a couple years ago, as well as the Moon Path to Elsewhere, we also played that one. We really enjoyed going around Falkreath and, playing through those quests, and the fact that they actually made it compatible with these quest mods and other type of mods that you may have in your load order, I thought that's very cool that they were actually able to do that. The mod creator also added a little note at the bottom of their mod page here, and it says, "I hope this project brings you the little something that was missing in your cities. I hope you all enjoy," which I think is really nice, and I think they did an incredible job shaping the city and adding a whole bunch of new interiors to explore and, dive into whenever it comes to going to a new city in Skyrim, because this looks nothing like the original Falkreath. I walked up for the first time whenever I was recording this, and it blew my mind how much things have changed, especially putting the Jarl's Longhouse up on the hill. I thought that was a brilliant idea, as well as how they covered everything in the towers and walls. I think it's brilliant. So if you spend a lot of time around Falkreath and you're maybe looking to completely remaster it and make it feel like a true kingdom, then the Cities of the North Falkreath is definitely a mod I'd recommend checking out, and that's why it's featured here at our number 2 spot, so I'd recommend downloading it and giving it a try for yourself. Coming in at our number 1 spot, we have another mod that I've been waiting for quite some time. This is JK's Interior All-in-One, which combines all of JK's interior mods into one mod to save mod slots on Xbox. And for those of you who have been living under a rock for the past 18 months, JK has worked his magic on pretty much any interior shop in Skyrim to give them a new lease of life. These include so many different shops, so I'm going to try to name as much as I can here. In Whiterun, we have Arcadia's Cauldron, Bellathor's General Goods, War Maidens, the Drunken Huntsman, the Bannered Mare, and Dragon's Reach. Over to Solitude, you have the Winking Skeever, Angeline's Aromatics, Bits and Pieces, the Blue Palace, and Radiant Raiment. Windhelm, you have Candlehearth Hall, the White File. You get it. Pretty much every different type of business that you walk into will have a new and remastered interior, and they all look amazing. There isn't one that I walked into that I thought was maybe too loud or maybe didn't think it changed too much. Each single one looks like it's been handcrafted and spent so much time into that they just look amazing whenever you compare them to what the vanilla ones look like. Now, it's also important to note that JK's mods can prove tricky to run, and many people will report crashes, even though it's possible to run without any crashes. But just remember that you have to build your load order around mods like these, and also get the appropriate patches if you need it, such as the ones in my load order that I had to download, was the JK's Interior All-in-One Unofficial Skyrim Special Edition patch, or the USSEP patch. So if you're using the unofficial Skyrim patch, be sure to get the patch alongside with JK's Interiors, as well as ELFX if you're using the Enhanced Light and Effects mod. Be sure to also pick up the JK's Interior All-in-One ELFX patch, because it'll fix all of the lighting and crashes that you'll get whenever entering some of these interiors. Once you have the appropriate patches, you'll be able to enter any single business in Skyrim and have a brand new interior met with you, and I think that's awesome, especially the fact that, we walk into general goods stores all the time, and it just really feels like they have stuff laid out all over the place. This mod makes it feel like each NPC actually took the time to add livelihood into their building. They actually show what they're selling, there's a bunch of nice things on display, and they actually talk to you as if they actually have the stuff around on display with them. So it's a very useful mod, and it really just builds the immersion and makes every shop feel unique, and that's definitely why this mod's featured here at our number 1 spot. So I'd strongly recommend downloading JK's Interiors All-in-One mod and exploring some of these new interiors for yourself. So that's pretty much it for this week's episode of the top 5 Skyrim mods of the week. Hopefully you guys did enjoy, and if you did, I'd appreciate it if you left a like and subscribe if you're new. It really helps me out a lot. And if you have any suggestions for mods you'd like me to cover in future top 5 mod episodes, be sure to let me know in the comment section below, or you can follow me on Twitter. I'll be sure to leave my Twitter in the description, and you guys can follow me on there and leave me suggestions there as well. Special shout out to my Patreon supporters. Thank you guys so much for everything that you guys have done for me. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Hopefully you guys did enjoy, and I will talk to you guys guys later.